Welcome to the channel. Today we're putting a tow bar on the back of this F25 X3 BMW. The tow bar is a Westfalia tow bar, or Westfalia depending on how you say it. It's come from P.F. Jones. You can see the box there. So we have the main bar. We've got a standard 7-pin electrical connector which I'm going to be installing along with the segregation kit that stops it from interfering with the CAN bus system. This is a swan neck removable tow bar. As I say, Westfalia. I've used them before on another car. I like the product, so I chose it again. Got a few tools and bits of kit. I know that there's plastic rivets under the wheel arches of this car that you potentially have to ruin to get them off, and none have been provided in the kit. So first thing to check to make sure you've ordered some plastic rivets. I think you need at least 6 to do this job, 3 for each side. And yeah, make sure you got those before you crack on. Right, so let's get going. Okay, I've emptied the boot of crap and panels, and I've taken out the fixings. That's there you go. Fixings look like that. Put a small screwdriver under the head. You can ease that out before taking the whole thing out. And you can then undo the front 2 screws, and you can then take the whole thing out. Take away. Right, now starting on the light, this panel here, as you can see, I've loosened it. It pulls off to the side and then comes out. It's got these, you kind of pull it to one side and then twist it out. It's got these little things that go in. Not exactly easy to see how it clips in, but it does. We'll take that out. In here we've got 2 10mm bolts for the light. Quite tight. Nuts to your bolts. Those come out like so, and hopefully this will then pull forward and unclip. I haven't disconnected the battery at this point. You might choose to yourself. I'm going to play it by ear and perhaps do that a bit later, but for now I haven't. I do have a code reader, so I can actually delete codes if they come up about light. So that's off. There's an 8mm here that does the bumper. So I'm going to just get rid of that. Simple screw. And now I'm going to move over to the other side exactly the same. Coming to the wheel arches, you can see the bottom edge here, there is this rivet. There's another one up here and another one up here. We have to get rid of all 3 of these if we're going to get access to. Behind here there are 2 more fixings for the bumper which we need to take out. So these rivets, I do have some replacement units which I can potentially use. I'm just wondering if there's any way of salvaging them. I doubt it, but if I were to, then it would be by pushing in the middle part, which doesn't want to move at all. Oh, maybe it does. So all I've done is pushed in the stalk there, which means that potentially this rivet can actually come out without being torn to bits, which it can. So there we go. So if you have a look at this, you can see it's expanded. There's a central part that's pulled through into it, which I may be able to replace and reuse this rivet if none of the ones I've got fit, because this is now able to, because I pushed it in, it was able to do that. So they kind of snap off when you make them. They're kind of sort of plastic pop rivets. So I'll do the same with the others. I'll push in the centre and see how we go. There it is, pushed in. And there we go, that came out. So, not sure you can see that. I'll do it with the last one. Hang on, let's go up here. See if we can do this really well, because this is new. Other people have not done this on the videos I've seen. Well done to others that have done videos, by the way. Always good to see fellow YouTubers helping each other. So, centre of the rivet, pushing it in, and then at the edge of the rivet, now that the centre has been pushed in, the rivet should loosen and come out. It says, hoping. So that's in. There we go. That's now pulling out. There we go. that's what we have. So I may be able to reuse this by replacing the centerpiece with something else that then perhaps stays outside. I can remove. We'll see. Anyway, there we go. That's how to remove these rivets. This piece now should come loose, hopefully, he says. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Comes loose, like so. And you can see in here there's a fixing there, and there's another one down here. So what I'll do is I'll put a piece of rag behind this to hold it out while I loosen those. Just ease this up. Let's put a rag in there. 8mm socket. Easy peasy. 8mm socket down here. There it is. Job done. Moving on to the next one. There's one down the bottom here. I'll show you in here, which I'm going to take out as well. It's another 8mm. I'll just get a little socket on there. Do that, and then I'll do the next. Disappointing when clips break, and I had to break one on this second side, but never mind. I'm sure we'll find a way. And if I need to order some, I can do later. But I think that's probably the worst part of the job. Now, under the bumper, there are lots of 8mm fixings, like these two here. Which might be rusty if your car is old, like mine. There's two on each side, and there are, I think, 7 down the middle. I shall carry on doing these. There we go. There's another one, nice and rusty. Ooh, very rusty. Anyway, I'll carry on doing these until they're all done. Okay, so I've done all these bolts, and this is the last one. And it's so rusted that it won't come off. So what I have to do in this situation is come up with something cleverer, because I can't get a socket on it. It just won't go. Well, it goes over it, but so much of it is rusted away, you can't actually get it off. So what I'm now trying to do is grip it with grips to try and help undo it. But well, as you can see, this is going to come with its own set of challenges too. Okay, I drilled it in the end. It was absolutely rusted, and it was a pain. Right, now we should be able to loosen the bumper off the sides. Should just prise out. Hopefully. Nice and gently. Oh, actually, I've forgotten. There are some in here. Just behind these reflectors there are bolts. Now the reflector pulls out forward, but there's a little clip inside. I don't want to damage it, and what I want to do is push it sideways to allow it to release. So I'm just going to pop this in here very carefully, push that way. Oh, what a fiddle faddle. There's nothing about this that should be that complicated. It pushes, this piece pushes in over there, but this piece should just pull out when you release the clip. Anyway, another number 8 under there, or 8mm rather, and there it is. Easy peasy. I'll do the other side. Okay, now we're pushing the bumper off at each side. So I have this side here. This is free. This is free. It's free down there. Just on here. This goes in here. It should just come forward. It isn't. Perhaps I'll take it forward. Well, I managed to do the other side, but this is a set of clips here, which are kind of tricky. You can see that one just kind of made a cracking noise, but you have to ease them out. They can go in different ways. Other cars on other videos just seem to fall out of this, but not this one. Now, once we get to this point, we need to undo the wiring harness for the reversing sensors. I'll show you where that is. Sorry. It's behind here. There we go. That's done. Now, theoretically, if the bumper will come away, I can lift the whole thing off. Cool. Now, rusty screws, lots of problems to deal with. I need to get this to remove the aluminium sort of bumper strengthening bar to actually fit the tow bar. To do that, we need to remove the plastic parts that are above. So we have 10mm nuts, like this one, like this one. We'll take those off. Need to do this with both parts. There's two parts to this. The second one has the wiring harness for the rear sensors on it, which will need to be taken off over here, so that just slides off. Easy done. So that's that. That's that. That's that. Hopefully. And then away. There we go. I'll do the other one with the sensor connection. Kind of hoping, yeah, I just slid it to the side. These things always sound like they're going to snap. Sometimes they do. Same process again. Just take these nuts off. One, two, three, four. And that just slides off. So, and we got the main bar that we're going to deal with. Really big. No, that's a 19. It is. Not very tight. I'll carry on doing these off like so. Oh, there's a cable clip under here. Of course, I can't just pull through. Oh dear! Why do they make everything so hard? Snap that off. On the instructions it talks of removing any body protective coatings, but this is just painted. There is nothing to remove here, so this should just be able to bolt straight on. So we'll go and get it. The instructions that come with this kit, they give various torque settings for the different bolts, which is very helpful. They give a multilingual description about the insulating material I spoke about earlier, and it being potentially interfering with parking sensors. And it talks about obviously removing the original bar. There's this diagram which sort of shows two things going on, which I'm assuming are these pieces. Now these match the shape of the ends, so potentially I can fit these on the car like so, and that will stand the tow bar off a bit. So I'm going to do that because I'm assuming that that's what that means. If they go, they can only go one way around, so that they mirror the pattern of the end of the bar. So in this case, this one here, and this end goes the other way around, with its pattern at the bottom matching the bottom pattern of the bar. So that will go onto the back of the car, and then theoretically, if I stand you up, the whole bar will then go onto fatal mistake. Got it wrong. It's got to go up the other way. It's good to show your mistakes in video. It shows that you're human. Anyway, that's how it fits. But there's two things I need to do before I do this properly. The first is to get the cable through with the other cables for the 7-pin connector that I'm going to install. And the second thing is to make the cutout, or at least get rid of this scuttle, and then cut it out afterwards. So let's take this back, get rid of the scuttle, and carry on. First I'm going to get the new wiring cable through with the existing through this grommet. So I'm going to undo the tape here. I'm not going to take my scuttle off, by the way, because my scuttle is fixed with some very rusty fixings underneath, so I'm going to cut it with it in situ. Hopefully it'll be okay. I found some rust underneath and I've been painting that too. Very exciting stuff. So this is some filling stuff in there. Let's pull this off and get it away from that filling stuff. Nice wadding there that helps it to seal. So we need to keep that there, but feed the cable through. So let's unravel this cable. I'm going to feed this through. Yeah. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do a separate video for the wiring or keep it about the same one. I might do them separate. It might be an easier way to watch it when you're searching for connecting that's different to installing the same one. Let's go hitch. This is a tricky thing. Soap might be a good idea. Pull this dampening stuff back into it as well. Make it nice and tight in there. Get this back in the hole. Like so. It's about the right amount of cable, and I'm going to put some tape back on this, get it back as it was. So it's all. Then I'm going to go around both. Want it tight. Put this back on and see where we need things to go. So obviously I need to cut this for this, but there's also my connection, which is going to hang down underneath as well. So I need to get the bracket out for that and see how it is. This is really interesting. With the Westfalia kit, they show these instructions which are for this component, which would have this on it, and it would allow it to rotate up out of the way or down, it seems, and it comes with various bits of kit and sort of washers that go together to allow it to twist, which is great, but it means that I've now got to, if I'm going to use it, I've got to take this plate off the back of this, which is really annoying because I've just installed it in here. So I'm going to undo that and assemble this sort of hanging down rotating piece before I offer it all up again and make sure it's on the tow bar. Then I can see where I'm going to cut out. So what I have here is the thing that it mounts on. I need to obviously work out which way around that is because there's lots of holes. There's sort of three components. There's a black thing that goes in and can move between two positions, obviously lifted, raised and lowered. There's this metal piece which goes in, which I believe makes sure that it sits into ridges so it stays in one position or the other, which presumably means it holds up and doesn't flop down when you want it to stay up. This then will go against this piece, which is mounted on the side of the left side in my case, as the right side didn't need to be clear to undo the hitch, and this would then go against here, and it can only go one way because there's a small notch off the corner, and then what I have is a bolt that goes through according to the instructions, goes through from the back with a big washer, and on the front there's another washer, and there's a nut. And I shall tighten up those components and see if it can then fit. I think it's 210s. Obviously this is very much about this particular tow bar. They will vary, different tow bars. Now I can't see what's going on. It's very annoying. Let's take that off. And that goes in there, that goes there, that's on there, that's on there. It's a bit of a fiddle. Well, that's pretty cool. Okay, so assuming this is vertical, I want this when it's stored to be rain resistant, so I want this to be like this, and then when we're driving it will come down like so, and it'll obviously open sideways, but I'm okay with that. I'd rather it were watertight when it's stored, which is going to be most of the time, so that's the way I'm going to put it. Tell me in the comments if I'm wrong to do that. Always good to have healthy debate about stuff. Nuts in, hopefully they fit. This stuff has been designed properly. And they do. I'll do the other two. So what I've done now is just temporarily pop this on here, and you can see that this folds down. Sorry, get it down a bit. There we go. This will fold down into position. This is out of the way, and it'll fold up. That's very good. And obviously that will be below the level when it's folded down, it'll be above the level when it's up, but it needs to be able to clear that. This cable will obviously route up into here, so I'm going to mark out on here where I'm going to have to cut for my tow bars to go in, and it needs to come obviously over as far as this, do that, and I'm going to come across behind out there. This needs to come behind here as well, so I'm going to do that. Come all the way forward, take this off here. Stop everything flying away. And then this piece obviously needs to slide down in front of this. So I'm going to just make sure that I take enough off. I'm going to have to lose that fixing there, I think. And there's obviously some of the bumper that's going to interfere with this as well. It's either that or I have this down all the time. I'm not sure I want this down all the time because that'll be sticking out under the car and it'll get wet and soaked. I like the idea of being able to pull this up. So yeah, so if I'm going to do that, then it really needs to come off behind here, across to just behind this fixing. Maybe I'll just cut it just through it. Anyway, something like that. Pop that off for a moment. It snips out. See, there's a mark out for a massive hole to be cut in this, and I'm guessing that that's for the factory fit fold down one. I can only imagine how much crud could go up with that cut out. So we're not doing as much as that, we're doing a neat little job. So there we go. So hopefully just pushing against it. I'm going to take a little bit more off where that's hitting. Yeah, this can't slide down, so I do need to pull more off there. Better too little and take a bit more later. So I will take off this moulding. Good. I think we're looking good. Looking now. Cables. Okay, yeah. I think that's okay. We can work with that. Right, now let's get this cable through and I can fit it. Okay, fit the cable through. Fed the cable through, same as last time. It's now here. In situ. It's there. This is all good. These plates need to line up. Excellent. It's in the middle of the fixings, so that it's central on the car. Right, let's see if we can bolt it in. Instructions say to use 40mm washers at the top and 30mm washers at the bottom. Not sure why they didn't just use 40 for all of them. Get all these on. It then says you do them up to 120 Newton meters. I have a torque wrench here. 120 Newton meters is there. Job done. The next thing is to install the hitch. And using these bolts, and they provide nuts. So up she goes. It says there's this piece needs to go on as well, but the only bolt that goes through it is actually at the back. I might do the front one first. Because I won't actually be able to get a socket on that once I've done it. So let's bring you in. There we go. And there's my ratchet. Hopefully they've used 19 on the bolts and 18 on the nuts. Now, there's a torque setting on this as before. Again, it's 120. It's 120. Should be able to put this on here now. Yeah. And well, I said it was tricky to get in there. It certainly is. Actually, I just checked, and it's actually an 18 each side. 19 was loose. Isn't very helpful. Okay, there we go. So it means I had to use an 18mm spanner, which is difficult to hold when you're using a torque wrench. Anyway, there we go. The ball is now fitted. Excellent. So now we're going to put back on the black plastic sections. The thread strips on the nut for this one. So I've got a selection of washers and another nut that I'm going to use. I believe it's M6. Gosh, hard to get in there. Well, that's done. That was a bit annoying. Right, I've got a small zip tie, cable tie. I'm just going to tie this piece out of the way. Right, well, that looks good. What I am seeing is that if I push the bumper far enough forward that it's in place, to cut the hole for this to move up and down, would actually end up with a hole out the back of the bumper, and I'm not sure I really want that. So I think I might end up leaving it down, rotating it so that it's as weatherproof as it can be, and maybe it'll be on show, I'm not sure. Okay, what we're actually seeing here is that the bumper won't go back far enough, and I think the reason for that is that the amount that it's not going back is about the same amount as those packing pieces that came with the tow bar. So I think I'm going to have to take that off, remove them, reinstall it without them, and then see how it aligns. So I'm going to do that. Of course, I have just realised, having done that, and my plates are out, that this cable doesn't actually go on there. It's supposed to go on here. There we go. So the next thing is to offer up the bumper again. Realised when I offered the bumper up again that actually it is now far enough forward. This part is far enough forward that with some careful trimming I can actually make it so that it does actually retract. So there we go, you can see the cutout that I've had to make to achieve that. It's quite difficult to see in this light, sorry about that. But this will now, as it's supposed to, it will fold down like so, which then looks like so, and that will go up and out of the way like so. It's quite neat. Right, let's put all the fixings back in. I'm looking at these rivets and these rivets that we had to take out. Now, I do have some sort of two-piece units that go together. It's the same sort of idea. You push them in, you can screw them in, then theoretically you can actually unscrew them to take the centre out again. So it's kind of like a rivet, but better. I was just wondering if these might work. So push this back on. bottom in first. There's two going together. So we've got that out as well. To drop the bottom off, and so this would then go in like so, and then that will push into it, and it's not bad, you know. So I think I might go with those since I had them. See if I can find some more. One up in there. In the middle, and at least if I come to take it off again, I can do. Last one in there, and then it goes. And there we go, job done. That was good. I'll do the other side now. At this point, the tow bar is fitted, the electrical connection point is fitted, and it can go out of the way, as I'd hoped, and all of the fixings are back on except for the light clusters. What I'm now going to do is the wiring harness. I'm going to connect that. That's going to be a separate video, so if you want to see how to wire a wiring harness for one of these cars, it's a sort of generic one, and then check out the other video. Otherwise, I'm going to now flick on to the end and we'll put these back, finish the job. Okay, so if you've seen the video about wiring harnesses, then you will now have done that bit too, hopefully. And we just finish off the last bits that need putting back together. There we go.
It's actually slide down.
The cap, very exciting. There's also this that goes in underneath when you remove this, very important, stops the road muck going in. There it is, tow bar out, and as you can see, you can't really tell it's there. That goes up inside there, there it is. And the electrics are all tucked away nice and neat too. So there we have it. That's the X3, the F25, with a tow bar installed, removable. It was a heck of a job with that bumper, but there we go, we got there. And yeah, I hope that was useful. If it was, then give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks ever so much. Bye bye.